Hey, welcome back to another episode of Yoshi's Island. This may be the final episode. We'll find out this episode. We're gonna get started with 6-5. The very long cave. I hate this level. It's really not that long. Technically, it's a auto scroll level, which means that like you can't control the speed of it. It makes you run around or like go around the cave when you can take shortcuts, but you can't take the shortcuts because of the auto scroll. It's kind of like that one level, I think it's called oh shit, it's called like the underground maze or something like that, in the third world. And like I was just like, oh man, I hate this level, and I just went straight to the end instead of doing anything in it. Like it's kind of a lot like that one. Like you see that spot back there? We're literally gonna end up going down and around and back through that spot to go towards the end. So it's really not a long cave, it's just the game makes you take a long roundabout way to get there, which kind of sucks, to be honest. Because there are no checkpoints in this level, and there's a lot of insta-death lava pits. Like, you fall in that lava, you're dead. There's no coming back from it. And you gotta be careful because there's a lot of, like, fire-shy guys that will run right up to you or jump right out at you and knock you right into it if you're not careful. You know, I haven't commented on it, but the crystals in the background are really, really gorgeous. They make me think of The Hobbit. I don't know why specifically The Hobbit, but they make me think of The Hobbit. Not the, I haven't really watched the Peter Jackson films. I watched the first film up until the point where Radagast the Brown shows up, which he's not in The Hobbit. He was supposed to be in Lord of the Rings, but they skipped him because it was like kind of unnecessary and, you know, didn't really work very well for what he was trying to achieve, but they kind of shoehorned him into The Hobbit. I watched up until the point where like I said, Radagast shows up, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, you know, this movie is not for me. Like, if other people like it, great. I'm not gonna like rain on their parade, but it's not my cup of tea. So I never watched the sequels. I really like the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings. I really like the Rob Botchke one, the animated one. It is so goofy. It's really, I don't know, it's really goofy, it's really funny. Okay, so that was the midway point, but we gotta continue this level. I think doesn't it start speeding up or something like that really fast? But like, I really like the Rob Botchke animated one because like, I mean, Peter Jackson drew a lot of inspiration from it, but there's like parts in it that are just like incredibly hilarious. And of course, like the animation is rotoscope, which there's nothing really wrong with rotoscoping. It just kind of raises the question of like, as expensive as it is to do rotoscoping, because you have to hire actors to act out the scenes so you can record it and animate it. Why wouldn't you just, you know, film it live action? But that's, you know, a discussion for another time. I'm not really interested in getting into that right now. But yeah, I really like Lord of the Rings. I like the book as well. It just takes forever to read the book because it's 3 books in one. You know what I mean? So it's like, whenever I'm really, really in the mood for it, like I will sit down and read it and really get through it. But it's like I said, I understand why not everybody has read it, because it's like, It's treated as if it's 3 books, but it's really just one big old book. And then there are some parts of it where it's like, because it's one big old book, you know, okay, this is where it's going to start getting really crazy fast. For no reason, actually. But yeah, there's like parts of it where they kind of feel like it drags a little bit. But because it's such a big book, it doesn't really feel like it's too long. Like the part in, in Two Towers where, oh god, they didn't like me about to say what I was going to say. In Two Towers where it's like, Merry and Pippin are kidnapped by the Urukai, and then Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli are like chasing them on foot for days. Like, I get the point that it's like this sense of urgency, and it explains why they get from one place to the next, and that it was like, you know, divine providence. They had to be there so that like Gandalf and them could meet up and then, you know, save the King of Rohan. But like, man, they could have taken that, like, what is it, like a 15-20 page chapter and like trimmed it down to maybe like 8 pages. I don't know, like, maybe that's just me, maybe people would disagree, but I just kind of feel like that bit just drags on every time I read it. It's not like I said, it's not like super long in the context of it being one big story, but like it kind of drags on. And of course, chapter 1, literally chapter 1, The Fellowship of the Ring, is like 60 pages, so that can be a daunting task for a lot of people. Alright, we're gonna not get anything, right? Yep, knew it. Then I'll leave it there. I swear I actually really love the book. Like, and of course, like I've said before several times, usually when I'm talking about video games, if I critique something, it's not usually because I hate it. It's usually because I actually really love it, and there's a longing that I have for it to do better. Of course, it's like, how is it going to do better? To which I'm going to say, it's probably not honestly going to do any better, and honestly, I probably don't really want a major change to it, because then it's not what it was. The thing that, you know, made me fall in love with it. But like, sometimes you just think to yourself like, oh, well, maybe like this could be improved upon, and how would it go about being like improved upon? And then you kind of look at it, or I look at it from this perspective, like I was talking about when I was talking about Orange. You know, I look at it from the perspective of, well, you know, I didn't write it, I didn't, you know, do any of the art or anything for it, so the author and the illustrator, if they were the same person or not, I don't know. Whatever their vision was is what they wanted to put to, you know, when they put pen to paper, like that's what they wanted to do. And I'm not gonna sit here and denigrate or talk bad about it. I mean, I'll say if I like it or not, and like critique it, whether it be because it's out of love or like, hey, this is where I think major improvements could have been made in my opinion. But, you know, what is my opinion? It's just my opinion. Who cares? At the end of the day, I'm sure there were plenty of people who really loved the parts that I'm kind of critiquing, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who really liked Orange and a lot of the stuff. I think it was last episode I was talking about it. And like I've said before, you know, me critiquing it and me not being, you know, super in love with it really shouldn't affect whether or not you enjoy the video, or you enjoy the book, or you enjoy the video game. You know, like, what was that about? Okay. You know, it should not affect whether or not you still enjoy it. Whether it does, you know, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But like, really, if you can help it, you shouldn't allow somebody else's opinion to ruin something you enjoy. You know what I mean? Isn't there... I want to say there was like a one of those springy like balls, but I guess not, unless it was here. No, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong spot. I think that's just a flower. I don't care about that. Flower and a couple red coins, I think. We got, you know, a couple Ryus. We got the number 2. We got number 6, 3, 4, fire guy, Ryus. Gotta use the fire guy to take out the Ryus, because you can't defeat them any other way. I don't think. Okay. And we gotta hit this. Said we gotta hit that. What was that about? There we go. It couldn't hit the mystery bubble because like it wasn't on screen. Oh, watch out for the toady. I told you that there was something like that. I should be able to get back up and around, right? Or am I gonna have to go all the way around? I gotta go all the way around. But I told you there was something like that where you have to throw the egg straight up. This should be a quick workaround. I love, like, maybe the next time I'll show it, like the giant, giant ghost. Watch the Shy Guy when you, like, eat the... He's, like, looking back and forth like, what? Oh, yeah, guys, it was me the whole time. You didn't have to call the Mystery Gang, or whatever they're called. Mystery Incorporated. I don't know, unpopular opinion, I hate Scooby-Doo, so, like, you know. The reason I hate Scooby-Doo is because when I was growing up, I always got stuck watching it, like, at my grandma's house, and, like, it was always the same episodes with the same people, and it was just like, get on with it. But, like, no, like, I think a lot of people who fondly remember Scooby-Doo either didn't really watch it that often, or they watched, like, the stuff that came out in the 90s, not so much, like, the original stuff. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe that's a hot take or a lukewarm take or whatever. You know how it is. I've already expressed it a few times. Like, if you like it, that's great. I'm not trying to take it away from you. But, not trying to take it away from you, not trying to make you feel a certain kind of way about it. I'm just keeping my opinion. I'm just stating my opinion. Oh, we're dead. We're dead. We're dead. Anyway, yeah, just stating my opinion. Agree to disagree. You know how that is. Gotta watch out for this chain chomp who's chasing us down. This one's a really interesting level because this level almost feels like you're storming the castle. Even though the next level is literally the castle, this feels like, you know, you're getting ready to storm it, like I said. I like the look of the, I guess they're pine trees. Are those pine trees in the background? Got it. Alright. You're gonna... There we go. It says to keep moving, but like you really gotta take a moment to stop there or else you're dead. Alright, moving on along. Moving on up. Ooh, forgot about this guy. Alright, cool. And we get a background that's very reminiscent of like Starry Night. I think it was Van Gogh's, right? That's Van Gogh's painting, Starry Night, or am I thinking of somebody else? There we go. Get on this red one, be careful and be ready to, like, you know, react because you don't know what's coming up. Even though I played this game like to death when I was growing up, like a lot of the levels I still know what to do, but like this late into the game there's a lot of like questions, you know, like what's gonna happen next. Sometimes, like obviously not always, but you know, can't remember everything, you know what I mean? Watch out for the sniffits. I wonder why they're called sniffits. Are they called sniffits because they like breathe in and shoot out the cannon like bullet, or was it just kind of like, that's an interesting name we could call it? I do love, I think I've said it a few times, I recognize it's not really technically a great movie, but I really love the live action Mario Brothers movie from the 90s. And I love the fact that like the sniffits are in the movie, but it's a blink and you miss it kind of movie, like kind of moment. Because it's like when they're in the junkyard trying to sneak back into the city, the guys that they jump and take the truck and everything from are like wearing gas masks, and those are the sniffits. And it's literally like they're called, like if you look at their truck, it says like sniffit trash removal or something like that, but it doesn't really like, it's not really like super clear that they're supposed to be sniffits, but at the same time it's like a super literal take on the name Sniffit, because it's like they you know, they're wearing gas masks and they like remove trash and stuff. Like I said, super literal take on the name Sniffit. But I think it's funny. I think it's great that they actually made it into the movie, albeit like it's almost like the Hammer Brothers, where like their name is dropped in the background. It's not really, they're not actually in the movie, you know? And how like the bullet bills are not actually bullets, they're not bullets, they are like used to power these shoes that make the, you know, is supposed to be the explanation for Mario's jump in the movie. But I love how much of a hot mess that movie is. And I honestly think the effect for Yoshi is really good. And the Goombas, like, they're actually pretty good in my opinion. The Goombas are like weird as hell, but you know. Alright, final level. Let's see if we can do it in this episode. This one's pretty long. King Bowser's Castle. Watch out for Kamek. Kamek will, you know, like knock you down. And those Goonies will too. And there's no real recovering unless there's one underneath you. Alright. Let's try it again. Second verse, same as the first. I don't think I'm going to make it to the next bubble. Oh, I guess I did. I got lucky. Gotta watch out for these Goonies, though. There we go. Cool. Now this is where the game can, like the level can kind of be either really easy or really obnoxious, depending on which door you get. Like, I don't remember which one it is, but one basically takes you straight to where you need to go. But like the other ones are, you know, roundabout. You don't have to worry about getting a specific door if you're trying to collect 100%, because like every one of these doors have like the same number of red coins, the same number of flowers. Like you're never gonna be like hurting for it, you know what I mean? You don't have to worry about like, did I get the correct path, you know? Of course, the game is really generous because of that. Oh, come on. Are you seriously not going to make that, like, that jump? There we go. I was going to say, you're seriously not going to make that jump because that brick break... Oh my god. Brick is there. There we go. Cool. Beans. Okay. See, that was best case scenario because some of those are really obnoxious. And then we get like the Mario World 1, Kamek pops up, tries to shoot you with like, you know, 3 out of the 4 PlayStation buttons. I think the only one's missing square, right? No. X is the only one missing. Which is fitting because anybody who knows anything about the PlayStation 1 knows that originally the PlayStation 1 was like a deal between Nintendo and Sony to make a disc-based system, and the deal fell through and they went with Philips and got the Philips CDI instead. And Sony was like, well, there's actually real potential here for a game console, so they made the PlayStation 1. And that's why if you look at the original PlayStation 1 controller, it doesn't have the analog sticks, but it's basically an SNES with like handles on it for your palms. Like an SNES controller with like handles for your palms. Of course, Kamek doesn't get, you know, doesn't get hit with that. Here it is. Final boss fight. You are not welcome here, Yoshi. Please hand over the baby. Oh dear. Oh dear Lord. Oh dear. What to do? Young Master Bowser wakes. Kamek, it's too noisy in here. I want to go sleepy bye. Huh? What kind of green donkey is that? Looks like fun. I want to ride. Mine. So basically it's a ground pound match. It's getting really lucky by dodging my attacks. There you go. Dodge that. And, you know, like, ooh, like normal, it's 3 hits. He can also knock Mario off and ride, and that's it. That's the final boss. Yoshi, why did you do this, young master? Let me help you. Here. Oh dear. That's not good. This is probably, in my opinion, the second most epic, you know, fight and intro to a fight. I still like the Naval Piranhas intro because of the music. But this music is great. I think what I like about the Naval Piranhas music is it's like a remix of the actual, you know, music that you hear for every boss fight. It's kind of like, ooh. It's kind of like Bongo Bongo's boss fight in Ocarina of Time, where, you know, for the longest time, me and my sister always thought the Spirit Temple was the last, you know, temple in Ocarina of Time, but it's really like the Shadow Temple. And the reason we thought that is because we thought you absolutely needed the hover boots to get through the desert, but no, you just need the long shot. And if you follow the logic, it's like you go straight from Lake Hylia to Gerudo Valley to Kakariko Village, but they unlock the cutscene that gives you the idea that you need to go to the Shadow Temple after you beat the Water Temple, so you can do either one of those in any order, and we always did it like Shadow Temple first. But Bongo Bongo's version of the music is like actually different than the rest of like the bosses, which kind of solidifies like how important that particular boss is, I guess. Now this boss fight can either be really tricky or really easy. So it really just depends. What the heck? I don't think I've ever seen that before. Hitting a toadie out of the sky? Was that... I gotta look that up. I've never seen that. Is that like a super rare like event or something? That's not gonna be high enough. Yeah, this can either be really easy, like I said, or like really hard, depending on like your aim and like all of that. Like, it's not really that hard of a fight. I think you have to hit him 6 times, but he'll start charging, you know. So if you stay calm and aim and keep your aim true, you might be able to hit him. And of course he does this, he breaks more of the arena, I think every couple hits. He's actually easier to hit when he's closer, to be honest, but like it's kind of scary because that should be it. Yeah, it's kind of scary because it's like, you know, he will charge you down and destroy everything. But that's it. Bowser is knocked out. How dare you? It's not fair. You're such a meanie. Someday we'll be back. You'll see. Wah. Which kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier in the series about like Kamek trying to like kidnap the Mario brothers to stop them from like putting a wrench in Bowser's plan, created the rivalry to begin with. And look, it's baby Luigi. And the stork is like, hey guys, help me out here, man. Thus, due to the marvelous teamwork of the Yoshi clan, the twins are reunited. The captured stork is freed by Yoshi and sets about his duty to finally make his long-awaited delivery. Thank you, Yoshi. The twins will meet the parents soon. And then Yoshi is like, I got one thing left I gotta do. It must be done. Kablam! And Yoshi even conquered, like, the opposite Yoshi Island. Wouldn't it be funny if they made, like, a retelling of Yoshi's Island, but it was, like, from Bowser's perspective, or, you know, and it's, like, Bowser going through and doing stuff? I don't know. I just think that'd be a little funny. I don't know why. It just kind of popped in my head. Because, you know, they like to make Bowser a comic, like a comedic relief character these days. Like, it would just be kind of funny if it's like, you know, the dramatic retelling of like why he hates Mario, and it's like completely and utterly obviously like made up. I don't know. Like I said, I just think that would be funny. But yeah, that's it. It's Yoshi's Island. Had a great time making it. Hope you had a great time watching it. If you didn't, sorry. That sucks, but you know, is what it is. But yeah, like I said, had a good time. I kind of have like two different series popping around in my head when I want to do next. One of them I might do one over the other, because one of the ones I'm thinking of is very similar to this in that it is a platformer that's like, it's not exactly like this game, but it's close enough. So it's kind of like, you know, I really want to play it. I haven't played it in a long time, but I might hold off on it. The other one I also haven't played in a long time and would like to play, but we'll see which one comes first. I'm the one who has to do the hard work. I'll be the one that figures it out. You guys can just, and you get to enjoy the videos. But we got a special thanks to Wataru Yamaguchi, Yoshiki Haruhana, and various other people. I don't want to sit here and read the credits, just simply because I feel like that's such an easy thing to do, to keep from like actually having to, you know, commentate. No shade on anybody who ends up doing that. I've done that myself, because it's just like, I don't know what to say, and then it's like, oh, I can read the credits. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. We just gotta watch the stork, take them home, take them to where they're gonna be, where they gotta go. The thing about this game that's kind of interesting is it kind of rewrites the Mario lore a little bit, if you think about it, because like Mario and Luigi are not supposed to be from the Mushroom Kingdom. They're supposed to be from Brooklyn. At this point in the Mario lore, they're from Brooklyn, but yet it's like they're being delivered to a mushroom house. Looks like they've arrived to where they're supposed to live or whatever. I didn't read that last line. They say they're like being delivered to a mushroom house, which implies they're in the Mushroom Kingdom. And you know, I think they kind of confirm that in Partners in Time when they're in the Mushroom Kingdom as babies. So it's kind of like a split universe game. As much as they love doing it with Legend of Zelda and having like multiverses, multiple universes, they could say there's the Yoshi's Island universe and then the original Mario universe. Heroes are born. The end. And that's it. No more. Unless, like, you know, I went back and got everything, and I'm not planning on doing that. So, hey, I appreciate you watching. If you made it to this point in the video and watched the entire series, I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.